Normally, when I write my lessons for you, I will have a number of scriptures open in front of me so that I can refer to them and have quotes prepared and have items that I can refer to. I might not pull the quote directly from that, but I will use the thought from that. What you can't see is I talk with my hands, so holding the camera is very difficult for me. Today, because of technical difficulties, I'm doing this extemporaneously, so I'm just going to speak about the love of God in my life. I'm a bit about myself. I am terminal. I was to have died a year ago. I actually speak with the Lord. This is not some mental illness. I do not have left temporal epilepsy or anything like that. The first time you say that you see the Lord, that's what doctors look for. Oh, she has left temporal epilepsy, because that is what they believe. Doctors being godless creatures. When I have a disease, a very rare disorder of the brain, I've had it for over 30 years. I'm the 12th known case of this disease, and as such, there's very little known about it. From 1987 through 2001, I lost over 20% of my brain to this disease. Quite literally, 20% of my brain was gone in episodes. So in one episode, I would lose 8%. Gone. And then the disease went into remission. The result of losing that much brain was that I had to relearn some things. I had to relearn how to learn, because much of that was here. The brain scans are kind of funny because I can see the damage, but then there's bits and pieces missing. It's like little nibbles of cheese are missing throughout my brain. But despite that, I still have a very, very high IQ. Some of you who know me know that I have more college degrees than a thermometer has degrees. And since that 2001 remission, I went back and got 9 more degrees, all advanced. I learned quickly, don't get master's degrees, get PhDs. They pay you for that. Anyways, in 2013, I became quite ill as a secondary effect of a surgery. At that time, I was a medical researcher, and I knew I was coming out of remission. I was having an O'Brien scan, and I had a visitation by the Lord, and he asked me how much I loved him. And I pledged at that time my full will to his will. He said, I will give you my gift. I will give a gift to you, he says, so you will understand my love to you. The next day, I got the results of that scan. And immediately, I knew what the gift was. Because despite all of this damage, no single part of my brain had ever been destroyed. But in the center, very center of my brain, my amygdala was gone, completely wiped out. And there's no tool of man that could do that. Only the hand of God could do that. Because all of man's tools would have destroyed tissue on the way into the center of the brain and on the way back out. Even a laser scalpel would have destroyed tissue on the way in, and no tool of man could have excised the edges so perfectly. But the amygdala was gone, with no destruction of tissue outside of the edges. It was perfect. And the radiological, the fellow who I know who was reading the scan, also a fellow of God as myself, he was astounded. He said, there is no tool of man as they know. It is the hand of God. It is a gift from God. He had promised me a gift. And now I know what that gift is. And I said, can you leave me? He said, yes. And I was on my knees, begging God to pass me by. Because this gift, he took away my fear. The amygdala is the locus of fear. What he was asking me to do was to walk towards my death and to document all the changes of my brain so that all the people who had the more common form of my disease could benefit from the changes that I document, so that their medical, so that they could benefit from what I document. And I have documented many changes, and they have benefited from it. But for his gift of me, for taking away my fear, I could not have done that. Because I knew every second that I was walking towards my death. And last June, when I was to die the next day, and I knew that I was to die the next day, I kept going through the motions, documenting the changes, how my body was responding, writing it all down, calling people to say goodbye. My mother could not deal. But for the gift of love of my Lord, neither could I. My will is not mine, but my Lord's. That is why since that time, I have been doing daily prayers and daily lessons, because it is His will. Every time He decides something new for me, I do it. His will be done. I am obedient to my Lord's will unto my death, whenever that shall occur, because I love my Lord Jesus Christ with every part of my being. Have a blessed day.